Excellent. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Zoom call by Wealth Warriors. It's Sunday evening, 10 o'clock UK time. And what I'm planning to do on this presentation is we're going to talk about the Wealth Warriors, who we are, why we do it, all the pros and cons. I'm going to try and produce a 30-minute video from that part of the presentation. Once I've got past that part, then we'll talk a little bit about some of the platforms. If you want to, it's not up to me, it's up to you guys on the call. If you've got questions about any of the platforms, we can talk about that. And then we can go to, well, they'll sort of evolve into a question and answer session anyway. So there's that. I've got a doorbell going off in my ear, so let's see if I can switch that off. That should have done it. So you all are muted anyway, so you can, if I'm doing something wrong or missed something, whatever, then do chip in. But please remember, I'm trying to make a video, so only if it's kind of urgent, because everything else we can get to in the question and answer section. So with that, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get on with the presentation. Okay, so here we are, Wealth Warriors, Financial Freedom Fighters. Now, I don't know if that comes across on your screen. That's a beach of Bitcoin, and everybody having fun on the beach with Bitcoin, because that's kind of the future, I imagine, for all of us. Planning for a great summer with Wealth Warriors, because summer is almost upon us. Believe it or not. In a few weeks' time, we'll go past the equinox, and so then we'll be heading off towards summer. So a quick disclaimer, nothing in this presentation is given as financial or investment advice. Please don't take it as anything I've said as based on, any sort of authority where you can use that authority to make decisions. Wealth Warriors is not an investment platform, it's a community, but we do promote online platforms, but we're very fussy about which platforms we use. If you do decide to invest in any of the platforms discussed, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose. This is a bit, this part of the industry, or this industry in itself is a bit of a minefield. It's not settled down yet. There's a lot of things happening, people out there doing things they shouldn't be doing. They'll be quite happy for us to fall for these things, give them all our money, and they'll run away with our money at some point. So don't risk it. Okay, I'm being absolutely upfront with you. There are some good platforms out there, but even the good ones, you don't need to put all of your money in and lose it all. And the presenter, namely me, I'm Andy Galloway. I am a member of the management team for Veralio, and if you don't know who Veralio is or what Veralio is, we'll talk about it in a minute. But I'm not an employee or an agent of any of the platforms at all, or any of the companies mentioned herein. So that's just me being totally upfront with you. Now the challenge is there are just too many scams out there. That's why we do this. We don't need to. We're doing some extra work here by developing a community. We're not just getting involved in a platform and doing the work for that platform. We're trying to develop a community. So why are we doing that? Why all the extra effort? Why all the fuss about this? Well, the challenge is there are just too many scams out there. It's hard to avoid them all. We've got good. Wealth Warriors are pretty good at avoiding scams. We also miss a few good opportunities, but that's fine. It's better to be out of a platform wishing we were in than in a platform wishing we were out. So I would rather miss 10 really good opportunities just to get one, rather than get into 10 opportunities and only one of them's any good. And, that just totally defeats the object of the exercise. So we're very particular about which platforms we get into. The second point is this: there are some businesses that are perfectly legitimate, and I've talked to many, many people about this over the last couple of years. Some businesses are perfectly legitimate. The guy's totally upfront, totally straight up, puts his money where his mouth is, tries to do a good job, but he doesn't have a clue what he's doing. He thinks he does. He's got a good idea for a platform, but doesn't know what he's doing. And I've seen so many of those go bust. I've had several guys actually call me and say, I understand you know about these things. Can you help me? What do I have to do to sort this business out? And most of them, in fact, all of them so far, there's been 4 of them that have asked me to do that. And all 4 of them have decided that what I suggest to them to get their business running properly is to turn it into a proper business, not just a platform. Not just a platform on the internet. That's not good enough. That will never cut the mustard. Okay, so they're so poorly run, they go bust. That happens with businesses online and offline. And there are some businesses, they're not scams, they don't go bust, but for some reason, regulators somewhere shut them down. And I see this again, there's been two this week that I've been told the regulators in South Africa, in one case, and the regulators in Thailand, I think, somewhere out in the Far East anyway, they are closing businesses down because they don't like them, they don't like their people writing to them and complaining. The business is perfectly fine, they're just shutting them down. Okay, so that's another reason we do this. We try to avoid all of those. And it doesn't matter how much money you make in online businesses, you cannot become truly free. Okay, you can't be free with your time, your money, and free from government control. We can. With Wealth Warriors, we have a plan to become free with our money, with our time, and away from all the financial controls, all of the regulatory controls of government, big banks, everything else. Just you living your life on your terms. Don't need anybody else's input. Don't need anyone else controlling what you're doing. Thank you very much. You're perfectly fine, all on your own. That's what we're aiming for. A lot of people like that. Some people get scared by that. That's fine. So what can we do about all of those things? Well, we're doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past because if we don't know what we don't know, if we don't open our mind and investigate and dig in to find out what went wrong last time, we're never gonna improve. You can't improve if you don't change some things. Everything's going to stay the same. I know that sounds kind of silly, but that's the way it is. So you've got to change some things, and the best way of doing that is to match up or group together with a group of like-minded people who are trying to do the same thing, because collectively we're much stronger and much better than on our own. So we can help most of us avoid the pitfalls of the industry. Now, that doesn't mean we don't ever lose money. But when we lose money, we lose $100 or a couple $100. We don't lose, we don't put everything in. So when we do figure out that it's a bad platform, then we're out of it and it's cost us a couple $100. And ideally, I'd like to avoid all of that. I don't think it's possible to avoid it completely, but we can avoid it by and large. So we don't sell the house, sell the pension fund, dig up our life savings, um, this sort of thing, and put it into something just because they're dangling shiny things like 5% a week or 2% a day or whatever it is. Okay. We're not swayed by the shiny things. We're much more intelligent than that. We take our time to check things out. We don't just get all excited. Somebody says, look how much money you can make. You go, yeah, have everything I've ever worked for. Okay. We are much more intelligent than that. We work together to avoid the pitfalls. So somebody once said that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And I don't think that's a true statement, because there are some great things out there. They sound too good to be true, but they are true. But what I say is, if somebody's trying to get you to look at all the shiny things, look at all the rewards, look at all the benefits, get all excited, hype you up, get your greed gene, your greed module turned on in the back of your brain, with your eyes hanging out the sockets, going, oh, look at all the money I can have. Okay, that's the time to beware. Greed is our enemy. In this industry, that's how people get you. Greed is your enemy. You need to be level-headed and think things through, investigate, check things out. There's never a need to jump in there and then. Take a few weeks to check it out. Take a few months to check it out. If it's a good business, it will still be around in a few months' time. Okay, so that's just a word to somebody who needed that. I don't know who it was, but somebody watching this video might have thought, yeah, that's me. I need to do that. Doesn't mean you have to join Wealth Warriors. Just take that on board, please, and just live by that. So what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for some benefits. We're not doing all this for the fun of it. We want something out of it, something concrete. And these are concrete benefits that you will get for being involved in Wealth Warriors. One, you'll never lose all of your money to a scammer again. Nobody will ever be able to convince you to just, like I say, sell your pension fund or sell your house, remortgage your house, whatever it is, and put all of your money into this thing because you're going to earn 500% a year. Okay, and it turns out that that's exactly the reaction they wanted. You'll never do that if you follow the rules of Wealth Warriors. Of course, you're free to do that anyway, but we'll never promote that within Wealth Warriors. Benefit two, you will protect your permanent network of contacts. And this is the biggest thing that a lot of people don't like about this type of business, is that they include their friends, they rope their friends into something, and when you lose money because it's a bad business proposition, they lose money and they don't like you anymore. You don't like you anymore either. You feel more guilty about them losing money than you do of you losing money. Whereas with Wealth Warriors, that won't happen because you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to do an illustration. You'll see why you don't damage your permanent network of contacts by getting them involved in Wealth Warriors. Benefit three, you will build future business much faster and with far more profit. And you'll see in a minute on this illustration, I talk about it might take you a year, for example, to build a network of people of say 100. Okay, but and so that's for one platform. On the second platform, that group of people, that community of 100 people gets involved in the second platform in a few days. In the third platform, they get involved within a few hours. In the fourth platform, they get involved within a few hours. And so you get paid over and over and over and over again. Every time we develop it or we start up with a new platform, you're not starting it from square one. And most of you know that when you start one of these types of business, you do start it from square one. Well, with Wealth Warriors, we don't do that. If you have 100 people in one platform, then you have 100 people in all the platforms. That's what we're aiming for. And the person who controls that, of course, is you. You could say, well, I don't want to get involved in all the platforms. Well, don't. But you're missing one of the biggest benefits of being involved in Wealth Warriors. Benefit five, I mentioned a few times, you don't sell the farm to get involved in something. You start small and build big over a period of time. That doesn't mean sort of getting at the minimum level. If $100 to you is the most you can afford without breaking the bank, then do $100. But if you can put $1,000 into some of these platforms and that won't break the bank, do $1,000. You'll always benefit better from starting bigger, but don't go overboard. Don't use money you can't afford to lose. For example, most people in the civilized world, if they were to put $1,000 into a business and that business goes bust, it would ruin the whole evening, and it would take them maybe a month to recover, maybe a couple of months to recover. But there's no bankruptcy involved. There's no homelessness, eviction, or anything like that involved. There's no hungry children involved. Most of us can survive $100 loss. Some people can survive a $1,000 loss. Some people can survive a $3,000 or $4,000 loss because they have a better paying job or whatever it is. So, tailor it to yourself. The more you start with at the beginning, the better you can build. But don't stretch yourself. Just be sensible. Don't think I'll do the minimum, and then you're disappointed when you're earning, $2 a day or $1 a day, or even less. Okay, so you need to get started the way you mean to carry on. So you can recoup within the system we've set up. You can recoup loans that you've had in the past. You can recoup mortgages you've had in the past. You can recoup money that you've spent from your bank account in the last 3 years. You can actually create currency out of thin air. Now, I'm not going to cover all of that. We'll talk about where that comes from. And if you get involved in Wealth Warriors, it will involve you in that platform. And you can become free and wealthy and live an abundant life. When I say free, that's the bit I mean about being free from the banking system, the financial system, the government control, the regulatory system, the taxation system, just everything. You can get free from all of that and live your own life, be master of your own destiny. So then concrete benefits from becoming part of Wealth Warriors. So illustration, there's an illustration. I'm going to give you an illustration now. And for that, we need some assumptions. So the assumption is that we deal with 4 platforms. We don't, but it doesn't matter. This is an illustration. You have 10 people in each platform and you're making $1,000 per month. In fact, let's say you have 10 people in the first platform. So you've got involved with platform 1 and you built it to have 10 people. And because of that, you're making $1,000 per month in platform 1. So let's have a look at what that does for us. So this is you. You've introduced Alan, your brother, Belle, your next door neighbor, and Chris, a colleague from work. Okay, and they know a few people as well. Platform 1's good. These people know some people. Everybody introduces a few people. Okay, and because of that, you are earning an income of $1,000 per month. Okay, now they're all earning money as well, but based on their own level. So that's maybe taking you a few weeks to put 10 people in your team. Some people will take a lot less than that. Some people will take a lot more. It doesn't matter. However long it took you, that's what it took you. So now we introduce platform two. So let's move platform one out the way so that we can make room for platform two. And you can see here that platform two is exactly the same structure as platform one, because what we have within Wealth Warriors, we have it's a bit grandiose to call it a system. It's not really a system. It's a method, if you like, a methodology where we say, look, you've got 10 people in platform one. Let's get all of those people into platform two. This is how you do it. Explain to them about how this works, and they'll all get into platform two with you, which means that you start platform two within a few days. You have all 10 people signed up. So the first platform took you 6 months, 3 months. Let's say 3 months to put 10 people in. Platform two took you 3 days. Now, you've never done that before. It took a little while for everybody to get the hang of it. So, but now your income is $2,000 per month. So then we move that out the way because we're going to introduce platform three. So now you're getting the hang of it. So in platform three, you introduce the same people that you did in the first platform. But now it doesn't take you 3 days, it takes you 3 hours, because now you're getting good at this. Everybody knows what they're doing. They know that the system says to get these people involved as quickly as possible. And so what that means is you start platform three, and within a few hours of starting platform three, your income goes up to $3,000 per month. So let's move that out the way to make room for platform four. And exactly the same thing happens again. And so now, again, it only takes a few hours for all of these people to get involved in platform four, which means your income goes all the way up to $4,000 per month. And so we're all quite happy now. What's going to happen actually is it's not going to stay the same. You're going to introduce a few more people. Everybody's going to introduce a few more people, because these platforms are good. People are making money. And also, you're not just making money in one platform, you're making money in four. And you know that in the future, we're going to introduce more platforms. And so you want to have more people in your teams so that when we bring on more platforms, you earn even more money and you help them earn even more money. But let's say it stays the same. It runs like that for a period of time. You're making $4,000 per month. They're making whatever money they've earned, and everybody's happy. But then something happens to platform four. Well, platform four might be one of these businesses I talked about. The people have complained they're not getting their payouts on time or whatever it is, and the regulators shut that business down. It might be perfectly good business, but it's shut down anyway. Okay, so what happens there? If platform four has gone, your income now, instead of $4,000 per month, that's gone. It drops to $3,000 a month again, because you're back to only having three platforms. And everybody goes, well, that's a shame, but it's not the end of the world. Your friends don't start hating you because they're still earning money based on the three platforms you're still involved with. You don't lose all your money because you've been getting $4,000 per month for the last 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever it is. And now you haven't dropped down to zero. Your income's dropped to $3,000 per month. And if you've been smart, if you strategized with platform four, you would have got your money back out of there long before it went to the wall. Okay. And you'd have helped all of your people do exactly the same thing. So now our job is to find platform five. There we go. Luckily, we found platform five. And so we do the same with platform five that we did with platform four, which is we put exactly the same people in exactly the same positions. It takes us a few hours to do that because we're still good at that. That's not a skill we've forgotten. And your income goes all the way up to $4,000 per month. Pretty awesome. Okay. And it's taken us, all the effort was done initially putting people in the first platform. And you've reaped the benefits of that on and on and on. So it's impossible to realize the benefits without following the rules. And the rules are: one, don't sign up in any other platform that comes along. If it's a good platform, we will adopt it at some point. I said earlier, there's no need to rush into these things. If people are trying to convince you to rush into things because it's all shiny and new, and you can have this first mover advantage, and you can have the what do they call it, the founder's position and this sort of thing, it's all rubbish. Okay, it's all rubbish. If the platform's any good, they will be around for a long time. You can get in when it's settled down. We understand it, and we adopt it. Now, I'm not saying don't go and get involved in other platforms, but there's a high probability that if you do, we won't be adopting it in Wealth Warriors. The danger of that is you're telling your people, it's okay, I know we're in Wealth Warriors, we've got all these benefits we can have, but I know better, I'm going to go and do something else. And your people will go, that makes sense. I know better as well. I'm going to go and do something else. okay, and you don't have a community. You've got exactly what you've always had, which is a group of people doing what the heck they like with no system. And you don't benefit from that. Nobody benefits from that. Okay. So when somebody says, well, I'm going to take on a new platform for myself, they won't be able to use the same system to get all of their people involved in that platform. They'll have to provide the training system for themselves. They'll have to provide, all the support and this sort of thing. All the things you normally get from Wealth Warriors, you would have to provide that for your team. So, I won't give an analogy. Let's push on because of time. So conversely, do sign up in all the platforms we adopt. And again, I see people they say, I really like what you're doing with Wealth Warriors, but I don't like that platform. Don't care, sign up in it anyway. Yeah, but I don't care. Sign up in it anyway. You want all the benefits that Wealth Warriors can offer you. If you don't want to do that platform, it's because you don't understand what we're doing here. At some point in the future, you will understand what we're doing here. Before then, you need to sign up so that when your people get involved, even if they're not involved now, they will get involved at some point, and then we can get them involved in that platform, even if you don't like it. There's money to be made in that platform. Doesn't matter if you don't like it, just do it. Okay. And it sounds a little bit dictatorial, and if it comes across that way, I'm sorry. But it's pointless having a system if you don't then stick to the system. So do sign up in all the platforms we adopt. Do maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. Now, there's an easy way. If you've got somebody with you in platform 1, there's an easy way to tell them about platform 2. Get them to a Wealth Warriors Zoom call or show them this video, because then I will explain to them what I've just explained to you, that we maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. And if they get into if they're in platform 1 with you, they should also get into platforms 2, 3, 4, and 5. And most people understand that. And with a little bit of encouragement from you, you can have the system do all the work for you, do all the heavy lifting. You don't need to do all the work. You've got somebody interested in the one that you're interested in. Now let Wealth Warriors tell them the good word, the good news about all the other platforms. And then get them to do the same as you've done. If they introduce somebody to their favorite platform, which may not be the platform you like, it doesn't matter. If they like it, there's money to be made. So they get people involved in that platform, then they do the same as you've done, introduce people to Wealth Warriors. Do support your own people by learning about all of the platforms we adopt. You don't need to be an expert. You only want to do 2 things in our platforms. One is to have a passive income. The other one is to have a team building income. So as long as you can do that, as long as you can adopt that, then you can, that's all you need to know, really. A lot of these platforms become a lot more complicated over time, and add things in, extra bits and pieces, an academy and some, a Visa card and a new leadership program. Don't care. We want the passive income. We want the team building income, and that's all we want. Okay, and you'll understand why as you build your business, as you get hundreds of people in your team, you will understand why we want to keep it simple, because we can't keep it simple. If we don't keep it simple, there's a limit to how many platforms we can get involved with. If we get involved in everything to do with all the platforms, then we're already maxed out when we've got 3 or 4 platforms on board. We want 25, 30 platforms, and we can only do that if we keep it real simple. Passive income, team building income, and both of those things should take you almost no time every single week. Almost no time. Takes a little bit to set up, almost no time to run. That's what we're aiming for. So we want to get security of income, build a permanent network, and become wealthy and live an abundant life. That's why we follow the rules. Nobody likes rules. I hate them more than all of you put together. If you see my report from my military write-up report, you'll see that I really used to buck authority in big time. And sometimes I was right, but mostly it was just because I'm a bit awkward person. Okay, I don't like rules. But the reason we do is to become wealthy and live an abundant life. In the same way as a travel plan will include a series of steps along the way to arrive at the right destination safely and on time, you need a correct strategy to achieve financial and personal freedom. You don't get it by accident. It's very difficult. You need to know what you're doing. And the best way of doing that is to be part of Wealth Warriors, adopt what we're saying, teach what we're saying, okay? And it will get you there in the end. If you just go and do your own thing, I don't know what your own thing is, so I can't speak for that. But you will probably not achieve financial and personal freedom. Doesn't matter how much money you make at any of these platforms. Platforms. You look after your community first. And I know a lot of gurus say this, a lot of people say that, but their actions actually belie what they are saying. They don't put their community first, they put themselves first. And you can tell that because when people question them or don't do what they say, they threaten to exclude them from their chat groups and things like that. That's rubbish. You shouldn't ever be doing something that your community can't get. It doesn't help your community achieve their goals. So you look after your community first, and your community will look after you forever. So remember, the work required to build a single platform can be wasted over and over again. Boy, we've been there. Many of us have done that so many times. But the work required to build your community has a permanent benefit, and it pays over and over again. This is the difference between what we're doing and what everybody else is doing. We're not interested in building a single platform. We're building a community. There will be platforms. The platforms are for our benefit, not for their benefit. And they pay over and over again. So we have criteria for adopting a platform. It must be available in the whole world. It must have a unilevel compensation plan. People must be able to join for free or get involved in a passive income program for a very low entry cost, $100, a couple of $100 maybe. Okay, because we're having got all of our lines of sponsorship involved in all the platforms. We don't want some to cost them $5,000 and some to cost them $17,000, some to cost them $100. Okay, they've all got to be people have got to be able to join for free or very low entry cost. And the combination of 1, 2, and 3 means we can maintain lines of sponsorship. That's why we're doing this. Maintain lines of sponsorship. It's got to be based on real world applications, not just something somebody thinks sounds good, which most of these platforms are. They tell you all these wonderful things they're doing. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. They're not registered or licensed or insured. There's not enough staff. There's not the right premises. It's just most of these things are a load of rubbish. We must be able to verify the company's legal status. If there is a company involved, and if it's a smart contract, we need verification that it's working and to understand how immutable the smart contract actually is, because a smart contract is just code running on a blockchain. Most smart contracts, somebody somewhere has the ability to change that contract. Okay, the only one that doesn't, and if you think of it, cryptocurrency is based on smart contracts. The only one that's completely immutable and cannot be changed is Bitcoin. And that's why I refer to Bitcoin as the only true cryptocurrency. All the others have a team, and that team can, they can actually rewrite the code of Ethereum or Tron or whatever. They can do that if they want to. I don't know why they would, but that's why I say that Bitcoin is the only true cryptocurrency. It's the only one that nobody can change, because the code itself is, or the contract itself is decentralized. You'd have to convince many, many thousands and thousands of people all over the world to change it. So we need to make sure that smart contracts, if we get involved with them, are not going to be changed on us. And the compensation plan must be viable and sustainable, and the membership of Wealth Warriors must all be able to get behind the project. So if we have a cross-section of society, there are some people that wouldn't want to get involved in gambling or money lending, arms dealing possibly, and even not in some big grandiose way, but just in a small way. Maybe alcohol distribution, if there are some businesses appearing now with alcohol distribution, gaming, all these things. We can't do it because we have members who wouldn't do it, and therefore it would break that line of sponsorship, so they're out. You can see where my thinking is about this. So we have 5 platforms. One is Republic of Old Souls as part of the freedom movement. They have 6 different platforms. The first one that most people get involved with is the Infinite Money Protocol. And so what I suggest you do is register in the Republic of Old Souls as a member for free. Learn all about the stuff that's available to you, particularly the Infinite Money Protocol. Go through the first roadmap to freedom, which is a series of videos and ebooks, and then decide at what level you want to get involved. When you decide you want the rewards of some, or the results of some of these services, you then have to pay for it. And that's your personal decision, but I recommend that you get involved for free and request to become an advocate, which means you can introduce other people if you want to. So I'd recommend you do sign up for that, because if you get somebody to get involved in one of your platforms, they're going to want to get involved with you in all the platforms. So sign up as an advocate. If you want to, sign up as an advocate originator, which means you can also introduce advocates. So there's reasons for that. I'm not going to go into it, but there are reasons for that. BitNex is a great program. It's a staking program in DeFi hybrid contracts. And I didn't know what DeFi hybrid contracts were until I looked into BitNex. And even then, it took me a long time to understand it. But basically, you purchase the money. So you purchase a smart contract. That smart contract arranges a few things. One is that it arranges a bank loan. Two is it arranges an insurance policy to cover the bank loan. And the third thing it does is stakes that bank loan for you on your behalf every single day. So you put $100 in, but you've got $30,000 working for you every day. And so you can see you get good results. You get better results off of that $30,000 than you do off your $100. And then after the end of the contract, the bank loan gets repaid, the insurance policy gets cancelled, and the money's delivered to you. The profits are all delivered to you for you to withdraw in Bitcoin. So after 2 years, the contract will return over $20,000, and after 3 years, the 3-year contract will return over $35,000. The 5-year and 7-year contracts, I'm not going to tell you, but they are significantly much bigger than either of those two. I'm not going to tell you because it sounds like I'm trying to convince you to do some shiny things, but I'm not. You check into it, you'll be amazed. You can sign up in BitNex for free, get a referral link for free, and then when you're ready, you buy some contracts. Veralio is a crypto trading program run by AI, and when you register, you can register for free. But if you want to actually take part in Veralio, then you need to you fund your Veralio account. That money just sits there. When you make profit, then they take some money from that account to pay for the profit they've helped you create. They take whatever profit you make, they take 10%. Alternatively, you can buy their tokens, the TCT token. So if you can't get involved in Binance, the Binance exchange, sorry, on Binance.com, then you can join Veralio and buy some TCT. So as well as the $100 to pay for the service, you need some money in your Binance account, or you need to buy some TCT, minimum of $100 in each. So to get both of them up and running, you need $200. I would recommend get involved with whatever level you can, rather than just get involved in the minimum, and sit back and wait for the trading to produce profits for you. Wait for the TCT token to go up in value, which you should do. We're expecting a significant increase in that every single month. Again, I'm not going to give any more detail than that. E-estate is to do with tokenized real estate. A tremendous business. Tokenized real estate was massively understood for about the first 9.5 years of its life, but now it's really taking hold. I see adverts for tokenized property businesses. I see them all over the place now. E-estate is the first one really to bring e-estate, so to bring tokenized real estate to the masses. You can get involved for just over $100, all the way up to $250,000. The more you put in, the bigger property you buy, then the more money you make. You earn daily profits every single day, Monday to Friday, and then with most of the deals, you receive a 10% dividend for the rest of your life, which is awesome. So you get your money back in the first 18 months. You get your money back 2.5 times, maybe up to 3.5 times. With one of the deals, you get all of that profit for 18 months. You make your money back at least 3 times over and over, and then they give you your money back again. Okay, so you need to find out more about e-estate in order to understand that. I'm just saying this is why we're involved with it. It's a good quality business. Lumex is a good quality business as well. It's an AI quantitative arbitrage engine, which I'm sure you wanted to know that. And it generates profits from arbitrage. It's not trading, it's arbitrage. And every few seconds, they're involved in a new deal, make a few dollars, and they share out their profit with us, the members, the people who provide the liquidity by putting our money in. We buy contracts, and anything more than $100, and you can buy them for 730, 90, 180, or 360 days, and each of those pays. The longer contract you buy, the more return you get, the greater the return. And it's also a fully functional exchange. I showed somebody yesterday, I think, or the day before. I exchanged some crypto, and it cost less than half a cent to do that. And when I showed them on the same thing on the Tron network, it was going to cost about nearly $4 for the same amount of money. And so, it's pretty awesome. So, exchanging money, as in swapping, most platforms call it swapping, is very, very expensive still. Lumex has that just pennies, absolutely pennies. And that's just one of the things they do to make money. So as well as those passive income programs I've just talked about, they also, all of them have a team building option, which is great for Wealth Warriors, because we want to build a team and then migrate that team into all of these platforms. So straight away, you'll be halfway up the bonus chart with all 5 platforms. You wouldn't be starting each platform from scratch. So that's what we look for: team building in all of these platforms. It doesn't. If you don't want to be involved in team building, don't. But this is the best team building option I've ever seen. It might sound grandiose because I kind of dreamt it up with some help from my friends. But if you're going to do some team building, why not do it in such a way that you only have to do it once? So very quickly, and I appreciate I've gone over my 30 minutes, we run a Telegram super group. So make sure you get added to that group to keep up to date with changes. We hold this Zoom every Sunday at 10 o'clock UK time. Attend yourself, bring new people. So you put somebody to one of your platforms, bring them along to this Zoom call on a Sunday evening. It's a shortcut to fast growth. Attend the Zoom calls of all the platforms. Their schedules published in the Telegram group, and take your people with you. Again, you don't have to be an expert on all the platforms, but know how it works. Know how to register, deposit some money, what you need to do to make some money, how to withdraw, and this sort of thing. Just know the basics. For the Republic of Old Souls, work your way through the webinars and books and get the first roadmap, the roadmap to freedom. Get that completed as soon as you can. Get the referral links for all of the platforms from the person who invited you to this presentation, and then register in all the opportunities. Make a note of all of your referral links for each of the platforms. Pass these links on to your existing frontline members or to people you invite to see this presentation. So if you talk to one person about Lumex, for example, and they like it, they get in, then make sure you first bring them along here, but even if they don't come to a Zoom meeting, make sure and put them in place with all the other platforms. Make a minimum payment into all the opportunities. If you cannot do this, select the project that interests you the most. So still sign up in all of them, even if you don't fund them all initially. There's a reason why. I'm not going to go into it because of time. Attend a Zoom call or watch the video for each platform. And as the new platforms are added, then do this very quickly. You get the referral link from your upline. Phone your upline. Say, we've just joined this platform. I need your link. Get onto it. Okay? Give them a hard time. That works really well. When you're being pestered by half a dozen people, you'll be phoning your upline saying, I need your link. Okay. And then pass your referral link onto your existing team and get on a presentation for that new platform as soon as possible. So it's not a case of ready, aim, fire. You don't check out the platform and then decide whether to get in and then maybe get in. You get in, then check out the platform, then introduce your community. Or so you get in, introduce your community, and then find out about it. Okay, it's a different way of doing things. But trust me, I'm not going to be roping people into things that are not good for this program. And many of you know that. You know that I've turned down so many opportunities, even really good ones. If they just don't fit the criteria, they're not going to be good for us, then we're not going to do it. So you can rely on the fact that at the point we adopt a new platform, I believe in my heart of hearts that it's going to be good for us, good for the community. Okay. So kind of put some stock in that, believe that a little bit, and make sure and get in. You only have to promote the 1 or 2 platforms you're excited about, and I've told you that a few times now. You build one platform, have all the others built for you. So marketing and landing pages, our upline in BitNex have provided for us this link. And this link is available to you. And you then just add your BitNex wallet ID here and give that link out to people. They can go to a landing page where they can see a video of how it all works. They can see a video of somebody that's withdrawn $400,000 recently, some other videos about how to do some things. then they click the button and join in your team. Okay, so get hold of that that landing page link, personalize it, make it your own, and give it out to people. It's very, very easy. When you become an agent in e-estate, so if you're just a buyer in e-estate, and when you find out more about e-estate, you'll understand the difference. But when you become an agent in e-estate, you get a fully customizable landing page. And once you're qualified as an agent, you have access to a landing page and the referral link. So you can send people to that landing page. Again, people read all about e-estate. They learn some nice stuff about you as well, how well you're doing in e-estate. And they click the button and register with you. In Veralio, you're not an affiliate as soon as you register, but so you have to go to the affiliate program page, click the button to request to become an affiliate. And then once that's approved, you'll receive a referral link and you can direct people to a free landing page. And I prefer a landing page rather than just a registration form. Okay. To me, it's just a little better. Can watch a video, read some words, see how it works, that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm kind of out of time, so I'm going to skip through this very quickly. If you're interested in this, you can stop the video and make notes of this, but this is where you would find all of your marketing materials, chat groups, PDF documents, all sorts of things. In BitNext, you'd find it on boards there. You register to join boards, you get a week's free trial. When the trial's finished, you can retain one set of boards for free, and so retain your access to the BitNext boards. Republic of Old Souls, you can go to this platform and find out everything you need to know before you ever decide to. I think you can do that before you even become a member. If not, you can sign up as a member for free. Veralio has a Telegram support group called the Veralio Open Forum, so you can ask questions in there. I'm in them pretty much all day, most days, so you can ask questions. And if I don't answer, somebody else in the team will. Once you've registered in e-estate, there's a knowledge base in your back office that's available to buyers and also to agents. There's all sorts of wonderful, wonderful information, legal stuff about financial filings, histories, and legal documents, and all sorts of things in e-estate back office. Lumex has support materials in a dedicated Telegram group. Okay, and again, you can ask any questions about any of this in Wealth Warriors Telegram groups. Just try and keep it to whichever topic. If you're talking about Lumex, go to the Lumex topic, and if you're talking about e-estates, go to the e-estates topic. Okay, we've got some great people who know a lot of stuff about these things that are happy to help you. We're building a solid foundation. So this is kind of summing this all up now as we come in for the close. We're building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. We're not interested in the financial future anybody else wants to give us. The problem is that we fall for it when people say, if you do this and do this, you can have all this. No, if we don't do this and do this, we'll have what they want us to have. The only way we'll get what we want is when we figure it out for ourselves, when we become independent of all of those people, become independent of the platforms. Okay, we only work with companies who are in it for the long term. We only want to do two things when we join a platform. One is have a passive income, and the other is to have a team building income. Everything else we get offered on these platforms is noise. It will distract you from your passive income and your team building income in all the platforms. We build a large asset, starting with a small asset, and building bigger and bigger over time. We don't gamble the farm ever. Just a rule. If a platform's any good, it's going to be there for long enough for you to get your money back out, and then to start taking profit out. Even if it fails in a few years' time, if you follow a strategy, then that strategy will make sure you get all of your money back and you make some profit before that platform fails. Okay, and if that platform does fail and you're a little bit out of pocket, then that's fine, because you have a number of other platforms that will support you. Only platforms that meet our rigorous criteria are even considered. And I say this to people over and over and over again, as they still try and convince me to join their crappy little program. Absolutely not going to happen. Even if people say, oh, I've been making money at this for 11 months, don't care. It doesn't meet our criteria. We're not doing it. The point is that we apply our rules to this industry to achieve our outcomes. We're not at the mercy of any one company or any other system, any other team, people that don't have your best interests at heart. I have your best interests at heart simply because I want to build a large community and you're part of that community that I want to build. Of course, I'm going to have your best interests at heart. I've laid out my stall. You can see what I'm trying to do with Wealth Warriors, to a large extent succeeding in it, but there are a lot of people just kind of not buying into the idea at 100%. Okay, that'll get knocked out of them over a few years where they do things on their own that fail, and they'll think, what? Eventually they'll think, why am I trying to do this on my own when I could just, sell out to Wealth Warriors and avoid all of this hassle? It's just going to take a little bit of time because we're all stubborn. Everybody's stubborn except me. No, I'm as stubborn as everybody else. So finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. Do not share your password or other credentials with anyone. Where it's available, set up 2FA on your accounts. And I strongly recommend you do this because it's the only line of defense, the only protection, the only security you have. There's not, nobody else can change that. The platform could be compromised and lose usernames and passwords, and nothing can happen to your 2FA as long as you're diligent with how you protect it. And then back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. Make sure the executors of your will, your living will, your power of attorney, or your beneficiaries have access to that information in the event of your incapacitation or death. So I don't like to talk about death, but it's going to happen to all of us at some point. None of us are getting out of this alive. Okay, wouldn't it be a shame to spend 5 years building up a small fortune in Bitcoin, only to find, because you want to pass it on to future generations, and then when something happens to you, nobody knows where it is, how to access it. They don't even know it's there. Okay, so make sure that information is available. So planning for a great summer with Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters in our own lives. We're not financial freedom fighters for the whole world, but we are in our own lives. And the reason is, if we're not financial freedom fighters in our own lives, nobody else will be. If you don't do it, it doesn't get done. If it is to be, it is up to me. 10 words, 2 letters each, that tell the whole story of existence. If it is to be, it is up to me. Nobody else is going to do it for you. If other people do things for you, it's because they want something out of you. So there we go. What I suggest now, go back to the person who invited you on this call or referred you to this video. They're ready and waiting to help you avoid scams, protect your permanent network, and create immense personal wealth. And with that, then I'm going to come back to the room. I will admit that I've failed dismally in my attempt to make a 30-minute video. Maybe there's just too much information for me to cover to get it down to 30 minutes. But this is the end of the video. So if you're watching this by video, thank you for making it this far. Hopefully you find it useful. Hopefully you'll find the benefit in joining Wealth Warriors, selling out to the concept rather than keep falling for the same thing over and over and over again. And if so, I wish you every success in joining us and building your personal or financial wealth with us as part of our community, part of our team. So that's it for the video, and the rest of us will stay here and have a question and answer session or look at some other things, whatever you need. So God bless everyone. See you on the...
I want to see you win. I want to see you absolutely smash every single dream you have. I want to see you overcome all of the barriers you face, and I want to see you succeed. I'm your biggest fan, your top supporter, and I'll be with you every single step of the way. You're destined for greatness, with or without me, and I want to see you achieve. Your potential is limitless, and your determination is inspiring. Keep striving for your goals, and I'll continue to cheer you on.